Mr. Lee, what have you got, sir?
All right, so I don't know if this is a fair question for office hours, but I think all is fair in love and war, right? So I know on Tuesday, Monday night, uh, I had actually asked this question to the group, and Kevin, I think, gave a really good answer. But so a lot of us are new on here, and I know you have 53 hours worth of training advice for people that are new, but in asking you and maybe anybody else in this group that is more seasoned, what would be one thing that you would say would be good advice somebody just getting started in this? Like outside of the marketing, all this kind of stuff.
To keep you encouraged.
Right, keep you encouraged for us to be successful. What would you say would be one thing that like to really focus on to move us forward?
You're talking about more on a personal level than on a business level, Mike.
Well, or either one. I mean, like obviously as we're like right now, we're still getting set up with our marketing. We just got that set up today.
Cool. All right, great.
So we're moving forward. I mean, Kevin was just his advice was be consistent. Like be consistent with your calls. And I mean, maybe it's not even a fair question. Like I said, I mean, you get 53 hours worth of training. So to sum it down into one statement probably isn't really very fair. But I don't know if somebody else would be like, manage your finances so you don't, blow your budget on something stupid. I don't know what it would be.
Yeah. So I'm not going to answer your question how you're wanting it, because I don't think that there is an answer that is universally true for each person. Just as I say that there's no right way to do your marketing, or one right way to answer a question, or one right way of how to invest, or one right market. I don't like how I'm going to answer for you specifically is going to be far different than what I tell Carolyn or what I tell Oscar or what I tell Rachel, right? Because everyone's in a different season. With that being said, I do have a desire, and I am in the process of organizing things. You guys have all gone through the self-mastery course, and as of right now, it only contains my laser-focused goal-setting seminar. But I'm organizing my thoughts because I think that as a person, sorry, let me bring this up first, and then I will, here we go. This is a universal truth that your business will never outgrow the capacity of your mind. Your income will never, I do not care how consistent you are, I don't care how much money you're putting into marketing, I don't care how great of a negotiator you are, if your personal mindset is at this level, your business will never go past that. And I would be remiss in saying, in admitting that I have not done a good job with this. Like and frankly, you guys have all heard the saying, sell them what they want, but give them what they need. That's what I need to do a little bit better job with. And that's well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 people here, and I will make a public commitment to the 13 of you that I will finish this year. But it's something that I'm not taking lightly, and it's something that I'm doing a lot of preparation for right now. But I want to build out that self-mastery course. People come to me personally or to REI Automated wanting an easier way to accelerate their success in real estate. And I feel like we've done a really good job with that. Absolutely stellar. I'm going through course 52 right now, as some of you know. And let me put a really awesome plug in. Actually, we're going to pause everything that we're talking about. One of my new mindset coach, his name is Patrick Precourt. Does anybody know who Patrick Precourt is? There's one. Oh my, are you serious, Mark? Really? You guys know who this is? Okay. In one word, Carolyn, who is Patrick Precourt? In one word. Hold on, you're muted.
Systems genius.
Okay, Mark.
Beast.
Okay, Lee.
I hate to say he's one of the guys that I follow on Facebook, and I'm trying to remember, but I know he pops up in my Facebook all the time.
Okay, here's the thing that I want you to remember. Fortune Builders. It was the very first.
That's actually because you're having him on Monday, the 26th. That was where the name came from.
Yes. It was the very first course that I ever signed up for. It was $35,000. He's the man behind Fortune Builders that averaged $70,000 per person and signed up more than 40,000 people. Can you all open up a calculator really quick? Open up a calculator, and I want you to type in an average sale of $70,000 times 40,000 people. This is just one company that he was behind.
$1 million.
This is just one company that he's behind. And he is behind 12 of them. And he befriended me. And I did not know who this man was. We were just talking late night, like 1 a.m. over drinks at this Coaching Inc. mastermind that I was at. I didn't know that he was a speaker. I didn't know who the heck that was. And he really liked me, and I really liked him. And so the next day we went out to lunch and we talked. And then later after the session was done, we went out to dinner and we nerded out some more. And the following morning we met again. And then he spoke that evening, and I'm like, holy crap, this guy likes me? Like, wow, this is amazing. And now I know who this guy is. I went up to him, and I was like, I have no idea who you were. Man, y'all, I was like a freaking little kid. You should see it. I went up to him after he spoke because they kept the
Fanboy.
yeah, fanboy to the nines, bro. Like they kept the speaker lineup totally secret. We had no idea. There was no announcement. They didn't wear special badges. They weren't dressed up any fancy way. But when he spoke afterwards, I was like, dude, I have to get a picture of you. Look at my freaking face right there. Like, I'm fanboy geeking out. You having a picture with Pat Precourt. So anyway, we've had a couple discussions since then, and we met yesterday for about an hour. He is coming in to do a goals workshop for us on the 26th. I don't care if you have to kill your mom to be there. You had better be there. Okay? Like, call in sick for work if you need to. Tell your wife no for lunch.
That's probably inappropriate the week after Mother's Day.
This will be 3 weeks after Mother's Day. And so my comment is I want you all to be there. I want as many people as possible in the room for that 1 hour. We're working for the next 3 weeks. We're working on he's understanding who REI Automated is, which is pretty freaking easy because he coached Fortune Builder students. He's understanding our brand, our alignment. I'm understanding more about what he's all about. And we're going to be creating not only that hour, but actually a workbook that you get to take with you afterwards. We're co-creating some material that you get to take. It's absolutely amazing. So please do not miss that. And you're welcome to bring people. Honestly, like, he's doing this for me for free. He's not charging us. He's not nothing. He just loved talking with me. He loves my vision. He loves my passion. And I love who he is he has a heart of gold. This dude is absolutely outstanding. Bring everybody that you can. You can invite your neighbor. You can invite your mom, your cousin, I don't care. Bring them. It will be the probably the most impactful hour of their week, if not their month, if not their year. Like, it was amazing, his session. Okay, so let me go back one topic and then we'll go back to regular office. So back to one topic is my commitment to the 13, now 14 of you since Morris is here, that I'm going to be fleshing out this self-mastery, because again, our business, the level of income that we have in our business will never exceed the level of our brain capacity. If we have these self-limiting beliefs, if we're not doing the things that we should be doing, I'm not going to get too preachy on you, but as all of you know, I'm a Christian. I believe that there is a God who has a path for us. And I am here to tell you there is parable after parable of, I am going to give you these things, these talents, these skill sets, these opportunities. And if we're not a good steward of those, you don't get any more. This is a universal truth. I don't even care if you don't care about God. This is like all the voodoo, if you were to look in The Secret, like you could find this. This is a universal truth that you need to be a good steward of your personal things as well. And so I'm already creating course content for this. I want each person to be tracking their net worth weekly with their spouse. If they're less than $1 million, and if they're more than $1 million of net worth, then we can bump it to monthly with our spouse. The next thing is I want you reading books on a regular basis. I would define a regular basis as once a day. I legitimately don't even care. Yesterday, I read 4 pages. Like, I was exhausted. I woke up at 3:45.
I don't read, I listen.
No, I am the exact same way. I listen for an hour today on my walk, but reading what's the word that starts with T that means you can touch it? Tactile?
Tactile.
Tactile,
Reading-
tangible.
Yeah, tangible. I'm not really smart. Thank you for being smarter than I am. English is hard. So having a tactile book that you can touch and move the pages, I think is super, super important. Every single day, you will get more out of that than you do. There's the reason why people say, I just read a book when they listen to it, because they know that reading is more important than listening. I'm not saying that I'm not an advocate of listening to books, y'all. I listen to books all the freaking time. I would like to think that I'm like a youthful scholar. I'm listening to books every day. However, reading a book physically, and I like doing it before night. Admittedly, I live a fairly stressful life. I'm a little bit of a workaholic. I have these huge goals, and oftentimes I kind of beat myself up. And
Dude, that's the website.
And therefore, I have a hard time sleeping sometimes, like actually a lot of the time. And so I would actually prefer to read a book before I go to bed because I get super sleepy. So last night, 4 pages, dude. I was out. All right, hey, I'm done. 5 minutes. Sometimes though, man, I will read for an hour, just laying there in my bed. I've got this tiny little night light next to me, and I've covered the light with a piece of paper so that it doesn't bother Miranda. It's just a really soft glow, and that's how I read. So reading books. Next up, personal finances, tracking your personal finances. Lee, this is something that you had brought up just a minute ago. If you're not being a good steward of your personal finances, how in the world are you going to be a good steward of your business finances when there's 1 or 2 more zeros behind it? People will not trust you with their money if they know that you cannot be trusted with your money. And so having your own personal finances unlocked. The next thing is 40 good people. I've talked about this in 1 or 2 different office hours, where your network is your net worth. So writing down the 40 best people in your life, the people who have influence over you or people that you want to have influence over, doing something kind for 1 person each day. That way, simply put, when your back is against the wall and you need good people in your corner, you have people to call. That is.
I'm listening to a book right now, and they talk about that, but the way I listen to a book,
Yeah.
because I do it on the treadmill and stuff like that. So, but the way he described that is who's in the front row at your funeral. Those are the most important people in your life.
That's exactly right.
And then you were talking, the other thing that I heard, this is a totally different book, the other day, because I usually have like 2 or 3 books going at the same time.
Yeah, so do I.
And you talked about your goals and your mindset and all that. The way that it was described, which was a little bit of a new slant for me, was your tolerance, what you're willing to tolerate. That's where you're going to go to, is
Oh,
what you're
yeah.
willing to tolerate. So you
Yep.
can have like all these ideas of where you want to be, but if you're
Yep.
tolerating like where you are right now, that's all you're going to get. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, damn. I never looked at it that way. What am I
Oh my
tolerating?
goodness. What, so my life coach, Rock Thomas, preaches this, and the Marine Corps stresses it very much. The Marine Corps obviously has more of a combative sense of you will always fall to the low, you will always fall to the lowest level of your training. And Rock Thomas says you will always settle for what you're willing to, he uses like settle or compromise for. You will always settle for the bare minimum of your, what you expect out of life. That's what it is. It's expectancy rather than what I'm hopeful for, what I'm shooting for. What do you expect out of life? Raise your expectations. I had the best call with my team in Crown Properties yesterday. I found out that my disposition manager was applying for another job. That doesn't go too well with me. And so on our all hands level 10 meeting yesterday in front of everybody, I said, y'all, if you have your level 10 meeting notes up, go ahead and exit out. We're going to talk, just the boys. By the way, there's a couple people here who are part of Operation Syracuse. Adriana has been hospitalized. We don't know why, but she's been out for a week. She went in, she came back home, and she's now back in the hospital. I'm talking with her husband. I'm not even talking with her. So we have everything paused right now for Operation Syracuse. We're not spending any money because our lead manager is out. So it's just the boys. It's just me, Xavier, Mel, and Sam. And I asked him about this, and he said, "Well, I don't see that there's a lot of opportunity." And I say, "My dude, we're spending, $12,000 a month on ads. What do you mean there's not enough opportunity?" "Well, they're not getting to me. As the disposition manager, I'm going to have to wait longer." And I said, "Yeah, but so you're going to go to a different company to work on their acquisition team rather than making a request to change seats within the company that you're already a part of? Let's flesh this out." We had a 1.5 hour conversation yesterday. And ultimately what Rachel just said is so impactful. I'm here to tell you, I'm obviously a man, in case anybody was wondering. I'm a man. I'm relatively prideful. I have a lot of confidence in what I do. But I am here to tell you yesterday's conversation with these boys was really empowering. I told him straight up, I will not allow you to stay on the team if you're working for another company part-time. That is not what Crown Properties needs. I have to act in beneficial interest of Crown Properties. I would be lowering my standards because he wanted to work for both companies. I would be lowering my standards if I allowed you to do that. I love you to death, Sam. You're absolutely a wonderful person. If you want to go to the other company, I will support that decision. I will let you go. I'm not going to make you feel guilty. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to say any nasty things to you. I will love you and I will respect you as man to man, but I will not have you on this team. I said, and he said, "Well, I'm interviewing on Friday. Can you give me until Friday?" And I said, "No, I'm not going to give you till Friday. Listen, if you're like, I feel like I have most of everybody's engagement, but if you're not, this is something that is going to be very relevant to every single one of you. So please listen to what I'm about to say." I said, "I'm not going to let you wait until Friday. I'm going to give you a reason why. It's not to be a dick. Here's the honest to God reason why. If you interview on Friday and they don't give you the job, then you're going to come back to Crown. You're going to settle and come back to Crown with your tail between your legs, compromising because the decision has been made for you rather than you owning the decision. You have until close of business tomorrow to make the decision. If you want to go with the other company, again, I love and respect you. I will support the decision. I will not guilt you. I will not try to change your mind. I will allow you to go to the other company. If you want to stay on, then I will support you and I will personally mentor you. I will listen to your triage calls. I will give you one-on-one feedback. You have until 5 p.m. tomorrow. About 20 minutes later, the team was talking to him as well. Xavier had his bit to say and Mel had his bit to say. 20 minutes later, Xavier says, Keith, my last company, I worked as he worked. I poached him. I poached him from another real estate investing company. He said I worked as this man's executive assistant. I was his number 2 man for 4 years. I was on a Zoom call with him for a minimum of 3 hours every day for the last 4 years, and nobody has ever talked to me like you just talked to me. He said, you are 6 years younger than me, but you're 12 years ahead of me. I'd like to make the decision to stay on the team. He made the decision right then and there on the call, and it's exactly why. Because of what Rachel just said. I was not willing to settle. You cannot, when people are working part-time, let me just say something that's a little bit controversial. It's a little bit judgmental. It's a little bit curt and direct. Here's the thing. I've hired more than 80 people. Money buys loyalty. When somebody is making more money with somebody else, they become the priority. And I won't have that. It is bad for my company and the people within the company. And if I'm going to be paying these people, then the company needs to be doing well. So don't settle. Sorry, that was thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Next up is naysayers. I want to shoot a video about naysayers. There's a couple of you that we've had some private conversations because your significant other, your person at work, your like somebody who's very close to you in your family, like a brother or somebody, is not supportive at all of your business. I want to walk you through how to create a little bit of separation between that person because naysayers will take you out of the business. Next up is triple S. It's actually sextuplet S. I don't know exactly how I'm going to create this, but it's SSS-SSS. It's Sunday System for Success, the smallest, simplest step. I do this every single week. Sit down with Miranda. What are my goals? What are my quarterly rocks? What is my mission for this month? Like, what do I have to achieve by month's end? Therefore, reverse engineering, what is my focus for the week? Therefore, what's the one thing that I need to do today? I believe that we do not spend enough time being intentional with our time. Frankly put, I think that everybody here on the call, to include myself, we do not spend enough time in a quiet environment asking, what do I want? What's actually important to me? What gives me a sense of purpose and pride and belonging and achievement and connection and impact? When we get really clear on what we want, there's no more like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I want to walk somebody through an exercise really quick. I feel like I know Zach the best. So Zach, I'm going to do this without getting emotional. I'm going to walk you through something. So y'all know that Zach is married, his lovely wife, her name is Laura. She recently came into his business. Zach, we're here in Florida. We're walking down my street on an evening walk, just your family and my family. And we see some billowing smoke coming up from a house. And as we're walking down, I say, hey, Zach, my water here is empty. I'll pay you $10 to run to the building. Put this under the sink. It's burning, right? The house is on fire. I will pay you $10 as a dare to put this under the sink, fill it up, and bring it back to me. Would you do it?
No.
Okay. No balls. How about $1,000?
And the house is burning.
The house is burning.
I don't think that there's probably any amount of money.
Okay, let's test this there. Let's just go. Let's go $10 million. It's just it's a quick run in. Put it under the sink, fill it up. It literally take like 20 seconds, bro, and you're out. Just don't cough too much.
Yeah, but I'd be thinking, I don't know if I'm doing this exercise right, but just I'd be thinking like, well, what about the people in the house? Like, are they okay? If I was gonna go in the house, I wouldn't get you water. I'd be thinking about
There's
people.
nobody in the house. It's totally vacant. They're at work. It's just you and you know, our families or whatever. We're just having a nice evening stroll. And as a dare, I pay you. I offer to pay you $10 million to just run in really quick. You know, just put your shirt over your mouth, run in underneath the sink, and run back out. Would you do it?
The answer is no, and the reason why is because there's no amount of money that you could give me to make. There's like a quote, dude. It's like, if I gave you $10 million today, but you were going to be dead tomorrow, would you take it? And for me, the answer is no. Does that answer your question?
Let me clarify what you're just saying. And anybody can chime in if they heard something differently. But I just heard you say no amount of money is worth the risk of you not waking up tomorrow.
Total.
Is this a universal truth for everybody? No amount of money. I didn't know. I only saw 2 freaking hands. Are we here? No amount of money is worth the risk of not waking up tomorrow. All right, we got a little bit more engagement. Some of you are like, there's a trick. I can see it. I literally know who the naysayers are in this group. 3 ladies right there. You're all in a row. Now, Zach, let's flip this.
Yeah.
It's just you and me on a walk. And we come back, and it's my house on fire. You know that your wife, Laura, is in my house. And you can hear her screaming for help.
Oh, I would totally go in the house, without a doubt.
Is there any amount of money that would hold you back from going into that house? Okay, so the point that I'm trying to make is that it's not the circumstance. It's the same house. It's the same fire. It's the same risk of losing life or limb. But the meaning behind the circumstance is what actually matters. If our meaning is this big and the problem is this big, we're not going to overcome the obstacle. If the meaning is always bigger than the obstacle, then you will always overcome the obstacle. The problem is we don't attach meaning to what we're doing. That all comes from just sitting down with a little bit of clarity. Writing out, apparently I've been nerding out too much because I have 2 of these books in front of me. I've been doing a lot of writing. And when you have a huge listen, y'all, like I have some demons in my life right now that I'm struggling with. And I have obstacles and I have hurdles and I have naysayers and I have all the same shit that you have going on in your life. I am not special. I do not get a free ride. Neither do you. We have to have a way of coping and of overcoming these things. Getting clear on what we want is so important. Spending a little bit of time. This is going back to the SSS, Sunday System for Success. I don't care if you do it on Sunday. That's just what I call it. You can do it on Monday. You can do it on Tuesday. You can do it on Friday for all I care. Setting aside some time once a week. What is my theme for me? I have a theme for the year. I have quarterly rocks. I have a monthly mission. I have a weekly focus, and I have a daily one thing. When you are so clear on what you're doing and you have the meaning behind it, you will overcome any obstacle there is. I promise you. That, y'all saw that I got emotional. Maybe you got emotional going through that quick little exercise. I definitely could have framed it a little bit better. But when you attach the meaning, my gosh. Next up that I want to go over is prayer and fasting. This is all of these things work together. Tracking your net worth, reading books, making sure that your personal finances is in a good spot, 40 good people, executing the naysayers, triple S, prayer and fasting, putting these things in combination with each other. Lee, this is all going back to what what's your advice? My God, don't I have a lot of it today? Prayer and fasting, I think, is a really big thing. And we talk about, as a Christian nation, we talk about prayer. We don't talk about fasting. Earlier this year, in January, I did a 5-day water fast. This summer, I plan on doing a 7-day water fast. And I hope to keep on doing that. Like, if 7 days goes well, then next January, I'll do 10. And next summer, I'll do 14. And truth be told, my goal is actually to get to 40. I would like to do a 40-day water fast. There are very few people on earth who have ever done that. Good things happen during 5 days, but I think that really amazing things happen when you do 40. Next is sleep. We do not prioritize sleep as entrepreneurs. It is so bad. Most of us don't go to bed on time. Everyone talks about, like, oh, you need to wake up early. Dude, I hate getting up early. When my alarm went off at 3:45 yesterday, I was not a happy camper, I assure you. Your morning is set up for success, not by the morning, but by the evening prior. People talk about this sexy morning routine. Dude, you can have the best morning routine ever, but if you do not set yourself up for success, then you are just putting a check in the box and flowing through the motions. And it's not actually going to be impactful in your life. So setting yourself up for success the night prior so that you have enough sleep, so that your brain is functioning, so that your body is optimal, will set you up for success for that day. Next thing is stress management and working out. We live, here I am, like coffee. It's not the greatest thing for stress, yet most people on this call had a cup of coffee today, myself included. Knowing how to cope with stress in a healthy way, again, this kind of all goes back into support and alignment with our yellow light support structure of, like, when you need help, you're literally paying me money to not go into red light. And we have ways of dealing with it on the business sense, but I'd like to set you up for success on the personal sense as well. How do we deal with stress while moving our bodies each day is important. I don't even care if you go for a walk. Since I moved to Florida, 245 pounds and about 35% body fat. You guys can see the difference in my face from what I recorded about a year and a half ago to now. And, like, I'm not going to do it, but I would take my shirt off right now and say, like, I'm freaking proud of where I am right now. Like, I'll go to the beach and not wear a shirt now because it's like, hey, I don't look like a fat ass anymore. My definition, I'm sorry, don't be self-conscious like I am. But, like, from where I was in the Marine Corps, you could see my abs pop through my shirt. To now, not quite there. We've got a keg over the 8-pack protecting it. Spending some time walking has been the difference for me. Every single day, I walk a 5K, 3.2 miles. Every single day, it takes me exactly an hour. This has helped my stress so much, starting my day. There's a lot of, I'm taking too long and there's still questions up. You guys can see I'm creating a list of the things that I'm going to be shooting. I will be fully fleshing out these in a video and giving you tools and resources, like exactly what I do each week, giving you examples, screenshots, outlines. I don't really know, but you will not only have the theory, but you will have the practical application, the tool in which to execute it. And then, of course, you'll have me there to support you. So I'm all about this. There's 3 pillars of REI Automated. Pillar number 1, education. Let me teach you how to do it. Then here's the operating system. Here's the structure. Here's the document. Here's the whatever you need in order to execute this. And then you're going to need help. Here's the support system put in place. And I'm going to be training our team before I even launch this. I'm going to be training our team on how I do this so they can effectively coach you as well. Okay, I've talked far too long. Lee, that was the longest answer hopefully I'll ever give you. I hope that was at least 10% helpful. There is no right answer. As a general theme, your business will never exceed your mental capacity. So we have to take care of ourselves as people so that we can have the impact that we want in life.
It was way more than I asked for, but thank you very much.
There we go. Now you should be able to.
I was testing you.
That's funny. I was saying, I told you to show up, be the first one with your hand up, and you did not disappoint.
I know, and I was like looking for the hand, and I was like, I saw the like a heart thing and a thumbs up, and I was like, oh my god, where is it? I haven't been like raising my hand on Zoom calls much lately.
I literally have had multiple people tell me, because it was an unspoken thing, but now everybody kind of knows that whoever has their hand up first is going to get extra love. So I've had like 3 people tell me that they'll take a sticky note and tape it and then put a little arrow. Like, here's where the hand button is. That way, as soon as they pop up, boom, they're the first one with their hand up.
Makes sense. I was scrambling.
Yeah. All right, good deal. We're gonna get
Zach
right into it.
Wilson. What's up?
What's up, Rachel? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Doing good.
Excellent.
She
Closing
has
some
a
deals?
similar problem to you, dude. She's just put 3 properties under contract in the last month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This one, to be honest, I got bullied into. These sellers pushed me around.
It's so
I was
didn't
like
really
so
want
not
it.
one. I put them in the dead pile for our CRM like multiple times, and I don't know if they had like a direct feed because like 5 minutes later they would be calling. Just like, oh man. And they bullied me.
Did you at least get a banging price?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was straight
Oh.
up like, you guys are asking too much. I think you're asking too much. And they were like, no, you don't know what you're looking at. And so then I looked again and I was like, well, maybe I can see what you're talking about.
I sure hope so.
I think we're a little high on it. And we had a couple people express some interest, you know, before we even papered it. But one person, once they looked more into it, they were like, no, we're nowhere near the price you want. And we have another guy that's supposed to go out and see it, but I'm not really doing, I don't do dispo for our team. Like, I just started doing acquisitions for some guys a few weeks ago. And
who does dispo?
my boss Brandon, but he could not be on this call right now. But I also
Okay.
do a little bit of, you know, I haven't fallen in line yet, so I'm doing whatever it takes to do, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Okay. So you're good to do the dispo.
yeah.
Fantastic. I'm gonna give you. We're gonna get down and dirty here. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking leaving people in the waiting room. All right. So everybody here knows that I let Will go a couple weeks ago, and I'm jumping on the phone. It's been absolutely awesome, Kevin. That is the cutest cup I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
Appreciate it, bro. It's adorable, dude. Look at this.
It makes your hands look bigger. So
I
I think
say,
you're
I'm the opposite. I'm just like
overcompensating.
oversized, ginormo.
There you go. That's mine. If it's not 16 ounces, it ain't big enough.
This is espresso, though.
So is mine.
I know. I was gonna say, like, you don't think this is espresso? No, I'm just kidding. It's not. But
Yeah, I don't believe
Mine
it.
is espresso, just with a bunch of milk in it. Half it. That's funny. All right, so I want to. I'm hopping on the phone, and even just today, I got either 4 or 5 just this morning in the last 2 hours. Got 4 or 5 more buyers interested in going out to this house on Monday. Here is my intent behind this. I like having, it's been a long time since it's been 5 years since I was full-time on like manning the phones. And I have a certain way of doing things that I like to do. Ultimately, my intent is to get 5 people minimum to be at the house at the same time with no knowledge of the other 4 people. This creates chaos. It creates havoc in their brain housing group because they don't know what to do. They weren't expecting other people to be walking through the house, but they're all showing up at the same time, and we're having more or less, thanks, sweetie. We're having more or less an open house. They show up and they're like, God, I didn't realize that there's competition. There's a lot of people here. and they all start walking through the house. And when they go through the house and they submit their offer, there's way less resistance. They understand that other people are competing for the house, and their offer is not going to be a crappy offer. It's going to be a highest and best offer, pretty darn close to it. So how do we do that? How do we get a minimum of 5 people? How do you get a minimum of 5 people every single time to be at the house? Well, first it starts with a great deal, of course. Great deal, great house, great price, great terms. If you don't have that, then you're set up for failure. Nothing that you do after that is going to be successful. The next is I'm going to outline the dispo process. Rachel, you've been incognito for quite a while, so there's a lot of things that I want to bring you up on. First is that we're using a software called Investor Base. There, you know me, I'm not a proponent of using other people's softwares. I think that my stuff is better. However, I won't compete with Investor Base. They absolutely have, hands down, the best disposition software at the cheapest price. If you use that code, it goes from $250 per month to $150. I love them, and when I share my screen, I'm going to show you my process for doing this. And the second bit of knowledge that you need to know is that I've only been manning the phones for 9 days. And so there's things in my workspace that are going to be different than what's in your workspace. And that's because we've literally built it out over the last 9 days. It's super messy. There's tons of bugs. We're working it out, and I'm not going to release this probably until March. So there's going to be some things for you guys who have the CRM that you're like, whoa, my CRM doesn't have that. It doesn't look like that. Yes, I understand. We will be releasing this extremely soon. Basically, I'm pushing the team. We literally had a meeting last night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I ended the meeting saying, guys, I'm not saying that you have to finish it, but what I am saying is that there's 3 serious problems, and if I wake up tomorrow morning and all 3 of those problems are resolved, it's gonna be a good day. And Nate was like, wow, Keith, you have an amazing ability to just hit somebody over the head with a hammer and it not hurting that much. It's like, basically, boss man said that there's 3 issues. He better wake up tomorrow and have this crap done. Otherwise, it's going to be a bad day. And so they're working very quickly to build this out. We've never built out anything as fast as we are right now. So without further ado, let me share what my existing process is. Here is my, let me just orient you to my screen. Here's my seller. The house that we are selling is in Lafayette, New York. Here are the 4 buyers that I've just gotten this morning. They're all going out of the house on Monday. How I'm doing this is through Investor Base. So we go to my deals. I have this one right here under contract that I'm searching for a buyer. And what you do is you simply put in the subject property address, Rachel, and then you filter by distance out and years back. Just hand save for you for free. Unlike Investor Lift, where they nickel and dime the crap out of you with every freaking skip trace and borrowing buyers list or whatever, or you have to upgrade to thing, whatever it is, lieutenant mode or whatever. Investor Base does no such thing. They're not going to charge you for text messages, for emails, for skip tracing, anything like this. Come skip trace. As you can see, I did not pay for any of this. It is involved. It comes with my subscription. Gosh dang it. So once you're done, you have a list. There's 2 ways of looking at that with this. The reason why I like, well, I'll show you this in a little bit. There's map view, and then there's table view. This is typically what I look at when I'm calling. By the way, you, Rachel, still will always have access to Asana that you can download and upload this template. So if you were to upload this new template, which I've changed a billion times probably since you have last downloaded it, click on the template, click on wholesale process, click on post online ads, click on operation investor base. Here's what I just sent you in the chat. Sign up for Investor Base. is right here with the link and the code. Then here's the, so Daniel McLaren, a friend of mine, he just created these videos and gave them to me. So there's all the videos, onboarding, finding a phone number, buyers list demo, CRM tracking, how do you do the call, reverse wholesaling, and what to do if it's rural. He's put all of these in Vimeo specifically for our community. So you can watch those. It's going to give you a down and dirty breakdown of exactly what to do. Then the next thing is, here's the SOP for calling buyers. You're going to hang up, call if they don't pick up, hang up, call if they don't pick up, leave a voicemail. Here's what the voicemail sounds like. Hey, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. So right now, I'm leaving phone calls. Hey, good afternoon, Rachel. My name is Keith. I'm calling you because I saw that you had a flip. And then let me just click on one of these guys. And what I will do is I will break up my screen like this so you can see both investor base and my voicemail. Hey, good afternoon, Rachel. Happy Friday. Happy Valentine's Day. My name is Keith. I'm calling you because I saw that you bought a rental. See how it's landlord up here? I saw that you bought a rental back in February of last year off of Orlando Avenue. I have a house that's similar to yours. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,274 square foot house. Wanted to see if you're interested in picking up another rental in the area. I've got this one at a pretty good price. I'm just looking to assign. If you'd like some more information, just give me a call back. Again, my name is Keith. My phone number is 315-602-3570. I hope you're having the most wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. And then I hang up. Immediately, I send them a text message. That text message looks like this. Here's, again, the SOP for calling. I'm just going back out of the voicemail. I'm going back to the text message. I copy and paste this. Hey, Lawrence, my name is Keith. I have a house in Lafayette, just a little bit south of the one that you, and then I would change this flipped because he didn't flip this house. He bought this as a rental. Just a little bit south of the rental you bought off Orlando Avenue last year. Are you potentially interested in a new house to acquire rather than to flip? I would send that text message. And so far, like, I have gotten a response from every single one of these buyers. I'm here to tell you, investor basis is, I let my subscription to Investor Lift lapse, and I've spent like, I don't know, $60,000-$70,000 on Investor Lift. I no longer am paying for it because Investor Base at $150 per month is better than Investor Lift. So here, let's dive in further to the process. Call the top 15 buyers in these 3 filters. So I'm going to teach you these 3 filters right here. So the first filter is called Smart Match. So we have Lawrence, and then we have him doubled up. So we're not going to count this as number 2. Here's Lawrence, Joseph, Amjad, Rachel, Amjad again, Paul, Stephen, Robin, Paul, different Paul here, Chai, Dale, Cheryl. This is duplicate, and then Rosalie Ann. Those would be, I don't know if that's my 15, but just count 15 down. Then switch, by the way, these 3 filters are outlined here. The first thing you want to do is Smart Match. This is AI. It's looking at a freaking crap ton of data points, looking at what they bought, why they bought it, what they sold it for, if they held onto it as a rental, what was the price per square foot, the average purchase price, what is the ARV. It's looking at all of this and determining what is the top 10%. All of these buyers, and in some cases, they drop it all the way down to top 3%. For example, this list is 161 people deep, but only 5 people made it to Smart Match because the AI says these are just call these 5 people. If you call these 5 people, statistically, you're going to get it sold with these 5 people. So first,
Keith, quick question.
Yeah, go.
Anyway. The status column there, did you fill that out, or was that okay?
Yeah. So every time I call somebody, I'm going to open it up, and it's always going to default to new. If I call them and they don't answer, I'm going to put no answer. Or if they're interested or not interested, if it's incorrect information, or if I actually end up assigning it to them, I'm going to move it to assigned.
Gotcha.
Great question. Also, check marks mean this is their correct phone number. Nothing means I don't know whether it's a good phone number or a bad phone number. They didn't pick up. There's nothing obvious. There's no, we're sorry, but this phone number has been disconnected or is no longer in service. That is an X. This is a bad phone number. Don't call this number. It's a waste of time. Over here, if I've added them to my buyers list, it'll show up here. If I haven't added, then it will be plus. Great question. Any follow-on questions regarding this from anybody?
Not yet. I mean, it all makes sense. I kind of know your system more or less from before, like, so some of it already just makes sense.
Cool. All right.
This link.
I'll finish up. Then the second thing that I do, after you've called the top 15 in Smart Match, if you still haven't found a buyer, then I recommend filtering by distance. And when you're in distance, I will add this. Go to the map view. Second, filter by distance, and instead of being in the table view, go to the map view. And here's why. Then, when I'm calling these people, it shows how far away it is. So when I call Dale, and I say, hey Dale, my name is Keith. The reason why I'm calling is because I saw that you bought a, what is this? That you bought a rental off of Kennedy Road. It's only about half a mile north of my house in Lafayette. Real similar. Yours was a 2-bed, 1-bath. Mine's a 3-bed, 2-bath. A little bit more square foot. Probably about the same condition though. Just wondering if you're interested in picking up a rental in that area. And you can see down here, here's my subject property. Here's the house that he picked up. So you can see it on a map. Even if you don't, I've never been to well, that's not true. I've been to New York City. I've never been to upstate New York. I have no idea the terrain or nothing. But I have the map here in front of me, and then I can cheat and see how close his rental was. And this is Google Maps. It's using Google Maps API to pull this. So second, go by distance. Top 15, again, not counting duplicates. If you still have not disposed this house, then filter by portfolio value and go back to the table view. Reason for this is these people, check this out. $5.1 million in his portfolio. He owns 15 properties. Do you think he's going to nickel and dime you for $5,000 or $10,000 on your assignment fee? No, he doesn't give a rat's ass. He's in it for the long haul. And so that's the reason why I like calling these people. Oftentimes you're dealing with people who have substantial 34 units, 34 houses. He would love to buy another one, and he's going to pay top dollar. He obviously has financing. He obviously has crews. He obviously has people like project management, property management companies, is what I meant to say, lined up already. And so these are also just outstanding people to contact. Contact the top 15 again. And many of them, you'll notice, hey, here's Lawrence. That's weird. I wonder why he was a smart match. Maybe it's because he was both in the distance, in the smart view, and in the portfolio value. These are great people to contact. Lawrence is going out there, by the way, on Monday.
Cool. Yeah, this is awesome.
Cool. And then what I'm doing, this is a laborious process right now. I'm doing it 100% manually, and anybody who knows me for longer than 2 seconds knows that I absolutely hate this, but I'm manually adding cash buyers right now. What will end up happening is there's going to be some sort of integration from investor base to the cash buyers that will collect all of this information, first name, last name, phone, email, what subject, property address am I pitching to them, as well as when you go to the buyers list and you add their buyers list, like here's Lawrence, for example. He's good to buy houses in Syracuse, Onondaga County, these 2 zip codes, both single family and multifamily. He will buy basically anything with any purchase price, any max renovation cost. He just wants deals. So all of this will be ported into Podio as well. And that's what I'm doing. Literally, I almost can't call for more than 5 hours because the house is sold. We're just going to the highest probability statistical probability of people who are interested in buying. We have a process. It's really easy. Oh, one last thing. This is the email. When people say, yes, I'm interested, you'll often get this. You'll get somebody who says, send me the address. All the time, you're going to get people that all they ask for. So I'll give it to them. Okay, I'll comply. If you want more than just the address, I have a whole email drafted for you. I just need your best email address. Boom, they send me their email address. And then I send them this email. Here's the details on the property. Address, property type, configuration, square footage, year built, parking, ARV, mortgage, monthly payment, repairs if you're going to go full retail, repairs if you're going to do rental. Now the home inspection has been completed, what you could is it vacant or occupied? Any special notes? What is the starting price? Here's a link to the pictures, as well as a very, very brief description on the house. And then every time I send an email, I send them a text message letting them know I sent an email. Please
Cool.
get to me within 24 hours. All right, that's my entire dispo process. Who has questions?
I do.
Yes, ma'am. Let's get
I
into
thought
it.
that I thought you are keeping the Syracuse properties.
No, I have right of first refusal for the Syracuse properties. That one, not even in Syracuse, it's in Lafayette. I don't want it. Too far away from the city center. Too far away to get good contractors. Too far away to get good property management company. The guys that own the property management company that I'm partnering with, they don't even service down there. So I want to wholesale it to somebody else.
I'll have to see if I can get back in Asana.
It's free. Just if you don't remember your old account, just create a new one.
And then I can, but how do I get your over to where your info is?
Just log in to the training tutorial library. Download, upload.
Okay.
We have videos and they're also like literally walking you through step by step. Here's where you get the download and here's how to upload.
Awesome. Well, that all makes sense.
Right. Anybody else have questions?
Yeah, Keith, can you explain what you mean by right of first refusal on the sub 2 deal?
Yeah, so I have a 99% certainty that Marzena was talking about Operation Syracuse, which by the way, there's many people here who are part of that. We haven't launched. This is not a part of Operation Syracuse. This came in from my own marketing. But with Operation Syracuse, essentially you technically have right of first refusal once we put the property under contract. If you don't want it, then the whole intent of Operation Syracuse is for me to buy it and hold on to it as a long-term rental. However, if I don't buy it, I didn't just put this property under contract to give it away or to drop it. I'm going to assign it to somebody else, right? And it's going to operate the same way as it always does. You get 75%, we get 25%.
I got you there, but I guess my question was, just looking at your email, it looked like you were trying to wholesale a sub 2 deal, but I thought you didn't do those. So.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
That is absolutely accurate. I want to tell them what the mortgage is in case they are going to do a retail flip, not if they're going to hold it. I'm okay with it during a retail flip with a performance deed so that if they stop making the payments, I will foreclose on them, repossess the house and sell it to the next person, or just finish the flip they're already doing. This way, I truly believe that it's not a good business practice to wholesale houses subject to the seller's underlying mortgage, because I believe that you have fiduciary interest, a fiduciary expectation even to make sure that that seller is taken care of. And it's obviously inherent risk if they're going to leave their mortgage in place. Therefore, I don't want this going more than like 6 or 12 months. God forbid it goes more than 12 months. And so they need to have the intent to flip. If they're going to flip it, perfect. We're going to have a performance deed put in place and even deed in lieu of foreclosure so that I can just get the house deeded back to me. I don't even have to foreclose. We can, with the performance deed, I'm able to take that in lieu of foreclosure. I take the house back, I finish the renovation, and I'll flip it myself. We have contracting crews up there. I have 3 of them in Syracuse, New York. Lafayette is just a little bit far for them to travel. It's about 40 minutes outside of where my last house was. That's with no traffic.
Okay. So you will wholesale a sub-2 deal, but they have to flip it.
They have to flip it, cannot hold it, and there's so many protective measures put in place and disclosures that there's no way that the seller can get screwed.
Okay.
I will personally step in and ensure it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So related to that, how what kind of measures and how do you put them in place?
A performance
Against
deed
the-
and a deed in lieu of foreclosure. It essentially says if you stop making the payments to me so that I can make the payments to the underlying mortgage, and you're more than 30 days late, we give you a 30-day grace period. If you're more than 30 days late, then on day 31, I'm recording the deed in lieu of foreclosure because you're in default. Now I own the house. I'm gonna get a, what's it called? It's not a restraining order, but it means that this person, this company, and any representative or officer of this company no longer has authorization to be on the premises of this property. And then I'm legally going to kick them off the property, and then I'm going to finish the renovation.
Still a restraining order. Even when like you say that the property can't be sold to anybody else, it's still like a temporary restraining order.
Yeah, TRO, you can do that. There's one better though. Josh is the one who told me about it because he's a former sheriff. I forget what it's called, but we have the document and we have the attorney. I allow myself to forget once those 2 things are put in place. Great question, Marzena. Did I fully answer your question?
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? This is great. I feel like we're back in business. Thank y'all for showing up. Man, we had like a really slim January and not a lot of questions. And this is great. Thank y'all for being here. All right, cool. If there's no follow-on questions regarding how I'm personally wholesaling houses very quickly and what my process was. I'm stalling for time in case there's any questions. All right, moving on. Rachel, go ahead. Rachel, sweet.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. We got a lead, and the guy has a house as like a house of multiple occupancy with the VA, and like he converted the garage. I think it has like 9 bedrooms or something like that. And basically, when I'm looking at the comps, like, I mean, what he's asking would, if it could be top retail, it could be even less, but obviously the rent on it is very, very high. Like, but I'm like, what do I do with this property? Would I want to keep this as a rental? Those kind of things go through your mind, but like, how would you assess this property as far as like if you're, as for a deal?
Great
Because
question.
I bid as like not interested because basically to me it seemed like I couldn't really find, he was asking 400 and I couldn't find comps like over 360.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I put it as it came in unqualified, but it's got this crazy rent on it because of the
Cool.
VA. But
so in instances like this happens all the time in Hawaii. Believe it or not, people call them monster houses, and they will just build an extra thing, and then they'll build an extra thing on the other side of the house, and they'll build one off the front, and then they'll build one off the back, and they'll put this contraption on top, and then they'll put an EDU out to the side yard, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's 13 bedrooms here. They call them monster houses.
Yeah.
And here, the short of the long is that there's no comps.
Yeah.
There's not enough. The definition of comp, you already know this, but this is for any new people here or who are going to be listening to the live. It's a comparable property. and there's no comparable property. Likely, I
Right.
mean, the probability of finding a 9-bedroom house that has sold within the last 6 to 12 months in the same condition is just not very high. And so it's extremely difficult to value.
Yeah, he's like saying like, oh well, I'm that value because there's a lot of gentrification. I'm like, well, just because that's happening doesn't mean that I'm seeing that value yet. It
That's right.
might in the future, but I can't buy that way.
Here's what's been my experience, my personal experience. There was a house, this is some years ago, this is probably 3 or 4 years ago that I did this. It was a case similar to this. There's no true comps. And I tried to get CMAs. The CMA, none of the realtors could find comps. They basically refused to work with me. So the wonderful thing about appraisals is you have to give me a value. I just paid you $500 to give me a value. You better come up with a value. Whereas with CMAs, typically they're free and the realtor can say, hey, I can't find any comps, and they move on. I paid for an appraisal. It came down. It was way lower than I was expecting. I said, there's no way this is possible. Single family houses that have like 3 less bedrooms sold for more than this. That's not possible. And so I paid for a second appraisal. And this one came up like 80% higher than what I was originally expecting. So I have one that's super, super low, and I have one that's super, super high. And I go, this is whack. This doesn't make any sense. Let me pay another appraiser. $550. I was all in like $1,600.
$1,500 later, yeah.
Stupid appraisals. And he came in super, super low. And I told myself, if he comes in super high like this one, I'll risk it. I'll take the chance that this appraiser is an nincompoop. But when 2 of them said something very, very low, then this appraiser must be a nincompoop. And here's the thing. These houses, is it their professional opinion? Yes. But you also need to understand that an appraiser, the real purpose, the real reason, the originating reason for appraisers is to see what is the valuation for a bank to lend on, not necessarily what is fair market value in this condition at this moment in time. Realtors are better for this, appraisers are better for this. And so it's very, very difficult to determine value. And you could almost look at this, you can almost back into this by saying, well, what is the monthly payment that I'm going to receive? What is the yield what is the amount of money that I'm going to be putting in? What is the yield that I need to return on this house? And then reverse engineer that using a financial calculator to back into what your purchase price, what is a fair value for that purchase price. Now, is that what a CMA or an appraiser is going to say? Probably not, but is it going to give you a general ballpark? Yes. Now, what I would encourage you to do, don't look at this from a flipper standpoint, because that would be a waste, in my unprofessional opinion. Look at it from the rental standpoint. And actually, it was Kevin who just 2 weeks ago asked me to update the rental deal analyzer, and I have. So if you don't have the most recent one, it not only includes fair market rent and Section 8, but he also had me add short-term rentals using Airbnb and such, as well as what do you call it? Rent by the room is called
co-living.
Co-living. And so something like this could very much be a co-living sort of environment. And there's multiple links there. There's instructions, as there is with every other cell in the rental analyzer. That's how I would encourage you to analyze this deal. It's going to be so difficult to find ARV, and ultimately, if we're not flipping it, we don't really care. And we always need to ask ourselves, what is the highest and best use of this house? Well, if it's a 9-bedroom house, it's going to be a rental. That's the highest and best use. And if it's not a rental, then now we start looking at different business models, like one of the ones that was in Hawaii, actually. It was a 13-bedroom house in I think it was in Honolulu. I ended up wholesaling it to somebody who was going to do a in-home care type of deal. And I mean, this person already had done it 2 or 3 times, and they were netting like $40,000 per month each one. And I was like, oh my, like I'm in the wrong industry. This is crazy. But how often are you going to be able to come across this? it had taken him like 10 years just to acquire those two. And it's very niche. You're not going to be able to do in-home care for something like that. Honolulu is incredibly congested. There's a lot of people in a very small geographical region. So looking at co-living for something like that would be, of the rentals, would probably be the highest and best use of that sort of rental. How
What
many
state is it
kitchens?
in, Rachel?
He's in Dallas, Texas.
Oh,
Maybe STU then? Wait, Riverwalk is in San Antonio, right?
It's by the VA. That's who he primarily rents to, is VA.
oh yeah.
People.
There's a bunch of pad splits in Dallas, Texas.
This could turn into a really good co-living house.
Yeah, I just wonder, I mean, I don't know obviously the area of Dallas. I just wonder, you know, like, well, long term, you know, kind of. I mean, I don't, you know, he doesn't really want to do anything creative, so it's, you know, not, you know, the house was originally like a 4-2, and so he has a total of 9 rooms now.
How many kitchens?
Because he put, I don't know. I don't think we got that.
Oh.
I've got that info.
Anytime there's more,
So he
anytime there's
split
more
the
than 6
master,
bedrooms, you should always ask if there's a secondary or tertiary kitchen.
and then he turned the garage into bedroom. So it's like a two. It looks like a double garage that he turned into. Yeah, I don't have like all of that, but I know he wants a lot of cash out of it because you know, he wants to buy a lot and build a multifamily home. That's kind of his.
Cool. See if he would be willing to wait just a couple of months after you close in order for you to get leases and then turn those leases in for conventional financing in order to balloon him out. Some sort of DSCR.
Actually, I have a lender because right now I'm doing the SCR on my property in Florida. Decided to keep it instead of flipping.
Okay, cool.
And I have a lenders without seasoning, and they finance 75%. So
I mean,
based on
the
rent
nice.
you have from this property, that would be blowout.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm looking at the one he's got up on Craigslist right now, and it's like, you know, he does it for $700 a month. So,
A room?
Per room?
yeah.
Holy
Wow.
smokes.
Yeah.
Don't think twice about it, Russia.
Dude, so you said 700 and there's 9 rooms, correct?
This one like that he has, yeah. And I mean,
Okay.
looking at the pictures like that he has for on the rental, like, and he's got a little coin laundry in there.
So
I have a lender at 7%.
So 6,300. Let's just
includes for the 700. He includes everything. So he obviously includes all of like the cable and the
utilities as well.
Yeah, everything. He pays everything. So he markets specifically for veterans with fixed income.
6,300 divided by 1.25 equals, so $5,040. $5,040. Make it negative. That's the payment. 7% with a 30-year AM. $757,000.
So 400 is a bargain.
That's how much. Yeah, that's how much you can afford to loan.
Yeah.
Is $750,000 at 7% with a 30-year AM is $5,000, which is still giving you a 1.25%. No, I didn't mean to say percent. 1.25 DSCR ratio.
Okay.
Obviously, you need to build in
So which
turnover,
is
and I would
a good one.
imagine that turnover is going to be way more
Really,
here.
really high. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go 6,300 times. Kevin, what would you do for something like this? It's technically a long-term rental, not short-term rental.
Oh, for Rachel's property, co-living.
Yeah.
I would absolutely, without a sliver in my mind, I would absolutely co-live in that property.
No, but what would be the percent of occupancy?
Oh,
I'd say 80.
Yeah, because it
I
said
w-
it's 1 block from the Veterans Hospital and then also from the train and bus station, so it's close to transport.
Keith, you're saying for short-term rental occupancy rate?
Not short-term rental. Technically, it would be long-term rental, but because it would be co-living environment, I am assuming it's not going to be your typical 10% vacancy. It's probably going to be 20 or 30%.
Yeah, it's gonna, yeah, yep. For the first year, yeah.
What would you-
25, 30%.
25. Okay, so 6,300 times 0.75 equals 47. Now we're going to divide that by 1.25, which is 3780. So 3780. This is extremely conservative, Rachel. But the most that you could afford to borrow. Dude, I cannot get the freaking buttons. 3780. My goodness sakes. $568,000.
Okay.
In
And if
the
you,
this is so good. This is so cool.
yeah, if you need this lender, they don't require seasoning, so you can borrow the money right away.
Mm.
So you would just need to come up with something to pay down on this
Right.
loan, 25%.
There's you should talk to Jeff Shahusky about this, but we were just having a conversation about how to legally skirt the 25% of like he does this not only for loans but also for buying businesses because he owns many businesses, and the financing is always through SBA, and you're supposed to bring 10% down, and so he won't bring 10% down. He'll have the seller carry the 10% until the day after closing, and then sell them the 10% for $1 after closing. Boom, built-in financing. So you could do something similar with a pre-signed quick claim deed or something like this. 10% down is already baked into the deal in a second lien position, and then you're just increasing the sales price with the intent of outside of escrow after closing having a satisfaction of mortgage without making any payment or $10 payment to them. I'm not trying to be vague, but I want to make sure that this is for $10 they would be releasing a $120,000 lien or something like this. Why? Because you increase the sales price of 90% of $120,000.
Right. So you said, what did you say was like
560
or something like that?
Yep, 568.
No, the adjusted one.
Yeah, that's the super
568.
conservative
So
one.
if you take like 75% of 68, that's 426. So if you did something like, so you're saying if you bought it
142
essentially for 5.6.
So it's $142,000 is 25.
Yeah, so essentially you would buy it at like that 5 range and then do the note and then.
So it would be 568 plus 142. 142 plus 568.
Well, yeah.
So you're buying it. Listen,
I don't need that. I need
purchase
400,
price,
right? I need 400. I need 400, so I would be a purchase price of like 550.
Oh, I think I understand what you're saying.
Doing a 25. Is that what you're saying? That's what I'm trying to understand. So I would purchase it at like 550, have him do a note for 25, and then get the DSCR,
DSCR,
whatever they are, loans. Yep. And that would cover the whole purchase price, is what you're saying.
But there
Yes,
is a but, transfer taxes.
Right.
sure. Good. So what is transfer tax? 0.0125. So
2%
568
mostly.
times, I block
I don't
in
know what is in
1.25%.
Texas.
So 11 grand,
Seven,
basically, if you said two.
yeah, 7 to 11
Mhm.
$1,000.
Yeah, so
And
closing
the
costs and stuff that
taxes will
need.
be assessed on the sale price.
And just roll that in to whatever he's holding. Again, Jeff is the master at this. I understand it on a conceptual level, but it's new to me. I've never done it. I've never executed this. He has done it multiple times.
Yeah, and I mean, to Marzena's point, the taxes are expensive in Texas.
Sure.
Although,
Yeah, you got
you know
school
what, you
tax and
can
everything.
then open another LLC, another entity, and just resell it for the lower price. And it
Okay.
will be automatically reassessed for the lower
It's a good idea.
purchase price as well.
All sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody would catch on to
Tax
that.
advisor,
as-
you should have a separate LLC for each rental, so.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if that would flag on anything as tax evasion or I don't think so because it's not IRS. It's
No.
your business, what you want to sell it for, how you want to sell it for. There's just cause because they
Yep.
the second lien position
Right.
was fully paid off.
Right.
You want to de-risk, deleverage, I mean. Yeah, there's a ton of different ways you would, as with all things, like I'm going through kind of a messy situation with one of my houses, and I am dotting all my I's and crossing all of my T's. And I drafted 6 documents this morning with corporate resolutions, signed, dated, notarized. Notarized. They're not backdated. They can't be backdated. Otherwise, the notary wouldn't have signed off on it. Like I'm creating a paper trail to make sure that if anything ever gets brought up in court, come after me, bro. I did it right the whole time and I can prove it. That's what I would encourage you to do. That is a great idea, Marzena.
Okay.
Because
Definitely
I am
food for
right
thought.
now going through that thing, and I talk to those lenders, and they kind of are much more creative than we are all together in this thinking. So that's what I thought, to kind of lower the taxes, just resell it to your other entity. You have another closing costs set, so it is what, $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah, the cost of doing
And
business.
you don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
Yep, and you don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Keith.
Thanks.
Hey, I have a question. I'm sorry, Lily, I will jump in front of you. I am looking for bulletproof rental agreement.
Okay.
Where I can find it?
I don't have one.
Come on.
What am I going to tell you to do? You know Keith well enough.
Lawyer.
I know Keith well enough.
I don't genuinely. I don't.
I need templates.
Listen, here's where I am. I pass it off to a property management company, and they take care of this. I don't give a crap if there's an issue. Like literally, they don't get paid unless I get paid.
I am property management, so I need this
So,
agreement.
so here's what I would tell you to do. This is very important that you don't just take what I'm saying at a Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. That you don't just take what I'm about to say at a macro level and you listen to step 2, which is arguably the most important step. Okay. Let me bring up what I'm about to share with you.
Yeah, Marcel, do you have any good rental agreements? Rachel? Nobody?
I use eForms.
E-forms?
Yeah,
What's that?
it's like a document creation website, like a lawyer. It's like Rocket Lawyer.
Chat GPT.
Yeah, that's what she was.
Well, I need rather kids bulletproof version.
Well, here's the thing. I could do this for you at a time other than right now. I have too many legal things that I'm dealing with and big opportunities that, like, literally, if I were to spend time away from this, it would be the stupidest thing ever for me. It would be just be irresponsible. I cannot do this for you right now at the moment. Here's what Rachel nailed it on the head. You need to. We're at the point where I'm basically going to demand that everybody pays $20 a month for ChatGPT. You go in, you get to use 01 version, and this is what you need to do. Prompts are everything. Just as Tony Robbins says, the quality of your life is in direct relationship to the level of questions that you ask. That same thing is true for the prompts that you give ChatGPT. So don't go in and say, give me a rental agreement. It's going to be ass. It's going to be absolutely terrible. Okay, be very specific. Here is the entire situation. I'm not going to show you these prompts that I have on my screen right now, but I am telling you they are pages long. Here is everything you need to know about me, my situation, my house. Here are some things that I'm concerned about. Here are some things that I want to make sure are put into place. And then remember, that's all macro level. And go back and listen to this. We're all streaming this live in the group. This is the macro stuff. Make sure to include this. Now we get to what I said was the most important thing. And the most important thing, you do 3 rounds of what I'm about to say. I'm going to put this in the chat here in a little bit.
Marzena, really quick, I just dropped in the chat. I want to say it's
Yeah,
free.
I've
It's from
seen.
Turbo Tenant. I would grab that document and then shoot it into ChatGPT and ask it to review the document numerous times.
Yep. So
Yeah, and you can say like make it landlord friendly and
yes, make
kind of stuff.
it weighted in for the landlord. If anything is less than $100, make it the tenant's liability to take care of and not the landlord's liability to take care of. There are things that you can add in here, and then you can ask it, please give me suggestions in order to make this better. And then always 3 rounds of what this is the gold. Like, this is the cost of REI Automated, all giving to you right now, is this prompt. What other questions can I answer? What edge cases or what if scenarios can you think of so that we can iron them out in this? For example, we're doing a bridge loan right now. I want to think through everything that could possibly happen and have a plan for it. So then it'll play 20 questions with you. You copy and paste those questions, answer. So it'll go QA, QA, QA. You answer the question underneath. And then same exact thing. What other questions can I answer? What other edge case or what if scenarios can you think of so that we can iron them out? What other suggestions would you include that are in alignment with my concern of here, or my goal of this, or my intent for this, right? Make it come into alignment of exactly what you want. And then have it ask you another set of 20 questions. Copy, paste, answer. So it goes QA, QA, QA. Then do the 3rd round.
Yeah, and if you don't like anything, say, I don't
Yeah.
like the way that's worded. It needs to be more in this favor or that favor, or, like you can give it feedback and it will just keep changing it until you get what you want, basically.
It sounds
Very-
like a
very-
lot of work to me.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it is a lot of work, but listen, what freaking screen did I just share? I would put this, here's my chat this morning with ChatGPT. Anything on the right in the gray is me. Anything on the left in white is ChatGPT. This was all done this morning. Do you see how much text this is? Do you see how much I wrote right there, copying and pasting, going back? giving it a template, giving it more documents to look at, having it do research for me. It comes back. I make some suggestions. Here's some other things that I want. All right, we're going to do it this way. What other documents do I need? So on and so forth. Guys, we're only halfway down. Do you see that teeny tiny little scroll bar on the far right-hand side? This was all done this morning for one deal. There's no excuse, Marzena. This
How much
literally
do you pay for ChatGPT?
$20 a month, and then I sent it to my attorney, and I'll have my attorney look over all these documents. It'll cost me about $1,200 for him to look over all these documents and to make refinements. Whereas if he was to draft up all of this shit, it would cost at least $15,000, if not $20,000 or $25,000. We are talking about weeks of going back and forth, 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 back and forth. I have saved so much time and so much money. All of that was done today, this morning, 4 hours, roughly 4 hours of going back and forth. Literally, Marzena, it saved me at least $10,000, if not $15,000, and at least 6 months.
I see the value of it now. Yes, I do.
You're absolutely right. It takes a long time. 4 hours is no joke, but I'll tell you what, I'd rather spend 4 hours now than $40,000 when something goes wrong, taking it through court, dragging it out, years of lawsuits. I'm involved in a lawsuit now. I finished a lawsuit last year. I had a lawsuit the year before. I'm tired of it. I am making sure that everything is locked on moving forward. I'm here to tell you, the more my net worth took a huge plummet last year. I made some massive mistakes last year. Please don't follow my stupidity and do things right the first time. I still am paying stupid tax for not having things documented and outlined properly the first time. I got myself into hot water in bad relationships with bad people who have bad intent, and I did not protect myself. So I really, really, really strongly, I plead with everybody here to protect yourself. It may not work for you right now. I don't have the time, but I'm here to tell you, you need to make the time, because as your net worth goes up, you have to protect your assets. You have to do things right.
Mm-hmm.
$20, Marzena. Oh, it is so worth it.
I'm a proponent of getting a property manager.
Say it again.
I am a proponent of getting a property manager. I believe the property manager will find you the tenant that will avoid having to. I do believe that you should have a good contract in place, but the property manager will vet the tenant to make it so that you don't have to go through all of that. And the most important thing is you get a property manager that recruits the market that will do the less harm.
Yeah. Everything that I said, by the way, I was talking at a macro level. I totally even forgot that we're talking about a rental agreement. I'm not even talking about the capacity of a rental agreement. I am talking about for a business, even life in general, you need to have ChatGPT. This is the way to operate. I am using ChatGPT for hours every day. Let me second and third exactly what Carolyn just said. I'm not a fan of self-managing properties. There's a season for hustling. And Marzena, with all due respect, you in that house is enough of a season of hustle. You're likely going to have the margin for a property management company, but here's the magic bullet. I'm going to give it to you right now. Find a property management company that only gets paid when you get paid, because now they will vet the crap out of the tenant that they are putting in. I
actually have a tenant already, so.
Okay, I understand. To make sure that, I still would put a property management company in.
I know, but right now I want to build up cash flow. I cannot do that. When this tenant moves out, I will do Airbnb.
Okay. All right. Everyone's going to have their own path. Again, there's no right or wrong way of doing real estate. It's right or left. And in this season, what you're doing is not at all what I would do, and it's not my intent to try to change your mind, nor is it my place to judge, right? I simply want to share my perspective, and Carolyn will share her perspective, and anybody else is willing and able to share their perspective as well. Anyway, you cut
And
the
by
line,
the
and
way,
I just
Zach,
remembered it. We got to
yes,
get to
I'm
Lily here in a
sorry.
little bit. Go ahead.
And Zach, I love your girls learning. They were listening so intently. That was awesome. Have them in it, man.
Zach is an awesome father. I look up to him and how he rears his girls. It's really cool. Got to hang out with him earlier last year in Florida. There are very few people who impress me with their parenting skills because I would like to think that I'm a pretty badass dad. But Zach did. It was cool. He even we stayed the night with him, right? Unexpectedly. And unapologetically, he was like, Keith, as part of our nighttime routine, I sing a song to my girls, and you're gonna get blessed today. You're gonna be able to you're gonna get to enjoy my singing voice. And he sang the coolest song. I don't remember anything about it, but in all seriousness, I got like water in my eye, thinking like that's badass. That's so cool that they will always remember that. I don't do that. I have other things that I do with my kids, and everyone's gonna be a little bit different. But man, I admire you. You do a heck of a
I had
good
a
job
prayer
with
in
those
the
girls.
book every
Yeah.
night.
Yep. Cool. All right. Hey, before my wife, I would be remiss. She's going to kick me out of the house if I don't do this. Miss Carolyn and Lily, you are on the hit list. As you see, there's 3 names on this. There's only 3 people left in REI Automated who has yet to sign the terms of use agreement. You're on it. She said, please she sent it to you so many times and it keeps on like expiring. And she's like, please, I'm not going to send this again. Tell Carolyn and Lily to sign it if you don't mind. If you have any questions, let me know.
This is part of your bulletproofing your business, right?
Yes, actually it is. Like literally, I will not screw up anymore. I mean, I will. We're always going to make mistakes, but we're doing things properly. Solid agreements absolutely everywhere in every capacity. Other than prenups. I don't agree with that on a religious level. I don't agree with it. But nobody cares about that.
So when did she send the last one?
This morning.
This morning. Okay,
Yep.
I'll go look.
Cool. Thanks, Miss Lily. Anyway, you're up next. Your hand is up.
Okay. I got a lead from Need to Sell My House Fast.
Yeah.
And it had just the street. It just had the street name, no house address. And I'm going to talk to the operation officer this morning. But I did call the woman, and she didn't answer yesterday. Today she answered, and she said, and I wrote it down because she kept interrupting me. She said, I called you back yesterday. Didn't I call you back? And I said, I don't have a record of the call, but we're talking right now, so let's continue. And then she says, how did you get my information? Were you on YouTube? And I said, I am not on YouTube, but I do have your information. I do have a message from you. I have your street address, but I don't have your house address. She says, yes, I just want to get a price. I don't want to talk. I just want to do it on the phone. So I said, well, I just have the street name. I don't have the house address. And she says, well, I'm not interested in selling. I just wanted to get the price. And she says, I don't want to talk. Goodbye. And I thought, now, how would Keith have handled that?
Well, great question. Before I even get into this, please take that recording, download it, and submit y'all know what it's called, a dispute. Open up a dispute. So go into Need to Sell My House Fast and get a refund for that. It's under she's not interested in selling. Upload the recording and they will give you your money back. No questions asked.
They've been good. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I just talked to a couple of my contacts over there, and I have the secret number. The secret number is 40. Never, ever, 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 ever go over 40% on your disputes. They have a yellow flag that pops at 35%, and they have a red flag that pops at 40%. So don't go over 40%. You will get blacklisted, and you won't be able to submit disputes anymore.
But I've gotten a lot that have been listed.
Yeah, that's a common thing right now because realtors are being dumb, and they're not being dumb. I shouldn't have said that. Realtors are dumb. No, I'm just kidding. They're just days on market is extending. It's a factor of the market. They're getting a little bit desperate. They're not getting desperate. My God, I have a really bad outlook of these people right now. I'm dealing with it myself. They are getting creative, and they're saying this house is sitting on the market. It should have sold by now. It's been 3-4 months, whatever. So they're going onto Google and they're filling out investor websites rather than doing what they should have been doing all along, which is having relationships with investors. But then we've also made a bad name for ourselves with some of the shenanigans that these wholesalers have been doing the last 6 years. Anyway, everybody is partially at fault. Just do a good job building relationships. Be a good person. Don't screw people over. It's a winning formula for business. Anyway, so make sure that you submit that dispute, get your money back. Really, how I handle things like that is I will go one soft pull, one hard push. This is my psychological reframe 100% of the time. You need to think about sales. Again, for those of you who don't know, I directly apprenticed under John Martinez for 2 years. John Martinez is largely known as America's sales and negotiation expert, specifically involving real estate investing. And he talks about things as a clock. Think about where 3, 6, and 9 are on a clock. And you're pulling this pendulum. If you're pulling somebody, this is bad in sales because I want you to think there's how much time do we have, by the way? I have 8 minutes. Okay. Hey, no more hands. Nobody's allowed to raise their hand. And I know that if Josh was here, he'd raise his hand in a heartbeat after me saying that. There's 2 universal laws of sales. Number 1, people run from things that chase them. This goes all the way back to like hunter-gatherer, lion jumps out of the bush, scares the crap out of you. What are you going to do? You run. It's chasing you. People run from things that chase them. So never chase the seller. Also, people want what they cannot have. Think about your hormones. Think about going back into high school and there's this cute boy that you had a crush on. Well, here's the thing. If you are chasing them, they're not going to like that. And if you can't have them because they're with your best friend, well, now you want them even more. You're going crazy. Okay, so think about like our emotional sense here. Those are the 2 universal laws of sales. And so I turn this into a framework where it's 1 soft pull and 1 hard push. Let's turn this into practical application. Keith, I am not interested in selling. I just wanted a price. Soft pull is I'm not desperate. I'm just trying to understand. Okay, so it sounds something like this. Miss Lily, I totally understand that you don't want to sell and that you're just looking for a price. Pause. This is called mirroring. We want to reflect exactly what they just said, both in the words that they use, the pace at which they spoke, and the tonality in which they said it. Those are the 3 secrets, if you will, to mirroring is keywords, pace, and tonality. Say it exactly how they just said it back to them. I understand that you're not looking to sell, that you're just looking for a price. Just out of curiosity, what do you need the price for? You never want to end with a statement. This is another secret to sales, is you never want to make a statement. The person who leads the conversation is in control. How do we lead the conversation? It's not through brute force and commands. That's how the military takes control of the situation. In a sales environment, the person who leads by questioning is the one who's in control. And so it's okay to make statements. I'm not saying that statements are bad. I'm just saying that your last sentence needs to be a question 100% of the time. It always needs to be a question. This way you remain in control. So my statement is, Miss Lily, I totally understand that you are not looking to sell this house and that you're looking for a price. Just out of curiosity, what are you needing the price for? And she's going to say something to the effect of insurance, refinance, or sale. Those are really the only three reasons why she would ever need to know evaluation: is insurance, refinance, or sale. And refinance is probably the highest likelihood, sale is the medium likelihood, and insurance is the low likelihood, because the insurance adjuster is going to come out. They're going to be the ones really who evaluates the house. This isn't put into the seller's or the homeowner's hands. And so at this point, she's going to tell you either, well, I'm looking at doing a cash out refi, or she's going to say, actually, I kind of just told you a little bit of a white lie. I am potentially interested in selling. I've just talked to so many people and they're all whatever, shenanigans. They're not getting back to me. They're a gray area, lowball offers, disrespectful, young and inexperienced, whatever it is. Listen to those. Be an active listener. And immediately show that you understand what she's saying, that there's a reason for her concern, and show her you're different. Again, sales. There's no such thing as tactics in sales. If anybody ever says this is a sales tactic, then they typically are going to operate in the gray area. I'm of the belief that sales is nothing more than effective communication. And I have frameworks like memorized for these things. When somebody ever has an objection, understand, reason, different. Those are the three words that you need to essentially memorize. I totally understand that. Here, whatever they just said, I'm going to mirror that. And again, mirroring has three things. What terms, what phrases did they say? Regurgitating it to them at the pace that they said it and the tonality that they said it. So I'm going to say, I totally understand that, blah, 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 blah. There's a reason for that concern, because there's so many wholesalers that just have no idea or there's so many investors these days that are just throwing out dirty lowball offers. Frankly, it's disrespectful, or whatever it is. There's reason for your concern because of, and this is what's called validation, right? We want to validate, and really this is, I'll just say it as frankly as I can. I'm going to be very transparent. You're kind of stroking their ego a little bit. Hey, not only do I understand, but you're actually a really smart person because this is actually happening. I'm validating their concern. And then I'm going to state why I'm different. So understand, reason, and then difference. You don't really have to worry about that with me. I'm, 82 years old. I've been investing in real estate for the last 60 plus years. I bought houses all over Oahu and the Big Island. My daughter is my business partner. She's the most wonderful person you'll ever meet. We have a known track record here on Oahu. Why don't we meet up for poo-poos later on this evening or whatever, show her that you're different. So that's my 3-step framework. Now, let's go up a little bit. Remember, I told you I have one soft pull and one hard push. The moment she gives me resistance, I shove her ass to the curb. No, just kidding. But really, I'm going to push away very forcefully and like almost to a disrespectful point. I'm going to say, actually, it is disrespectful. I will toe the line on being edgy. So it would sound something like this. If you gave me resistance of, I really am just not interested in selling the house. I'm really short on time. Lily, I totally understand you don't have any time to talk to me right now. You're not even interested in selling the house. It sounds like you're not really serious in engaging in a conversation or selling your house. Is there any reason why you filled out that form in the first place? I'm being extremely direct, very blunt. Nothing that I said was actually disrespectful. Nothing that I said was actually rude. But it's like, why are you wasting my time? There's that underlying, is there a real reason why you filled out the form? Or are you just wasting my time? That's the attitude in which I'm coming across with this, but I am not saying those things. That is disrespectful, that is rude, that is not treating another person as you would like to be treated type of thing. And so typically, one of two things is going to happen. You're going to accelerate the process either way. They're either going to come towards you or they're going to get off the phone. But that statement is going to accelerate the process. I'm a huge believer in accelerating processes. Why? Because I don't like wasting time. Why? Because time is life. If you waste time, you waste your life. And so I want to accelerate the process. If we're a good prospect, then you're going to come towards me. You know what, Keith? I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right. I'm not treating you how I should be. I I filled out that form, and then they're going to start to work. I filled out that form. I've had probably 30 calls since then. People are just blowing up my phone. I'm super frustrated. I shouldn't have said that. I do have some time. I'll make some time. I have to go in about 20 minutes or so. Then they start to work with us. They start to open up. Or they're a total jackwagon. We don't want to talk to this person. They're not motivated at all, and we cannot create motivation. Therefore, they're likely going to hang up the phone. You know what, Keith? You're absolutely right. Don't want to sell the house. No need to talk to you. Have a great day. Bye. Done. Very, very fast. I have had hundreds of these phone calls, and you can just remember, small pull, hard push. That's how I deal with them.